recorded so that everyone can access it if needed to in the future. I wanted to just take a moment before we dive in to just thank you all and really thank Kumon and Abigail Pope and her team and everything that they're doing along with their brokerage partners at Gallagher to really make sure that they're bringing you the best benefit options possible. They really work very hard to ensure that you receive the best options, and Aflac is one of those options we're going to speak to today. Really, I just want to make sure that when we go through this quick presentation, because there is a lot of information I'm going to share with you, that you know how you're going to be able to ask questions and work with a benefits counselor on a one-on-one. So in the email that you received that had the link to come to this presentation, you also received a link to sign up to receive a call or a time slot with a benefits counselor from Aflac. So please feel free to start enrolling in those times, and we're going to make sure that we have a team available to assist you with any of your questions and any of your needs. But really, just want to dive right in. Many people know the duck and the fun commercials that we have, but most people don't realize that Aflac has been around for quite some time, and we're not here just in the United States. We're actually a worldwide company. We started in 1955 with three brothers and a promise, and the promise was to help people financially in their time of need, because we know that when we're hurt, when we're sick, financially it takes a burden on a family. So we started this concept of really ensuring that these policies, these insurance coverages, were going to provide a financial safety blanket and really ensure that we're paying claims, not denying them, paying them, and paying them as quickly as possible. And that is why we've become the #1 provider of these types of insurances across the country with over 50 million policyholders worldwide. And the other country we're in is actually in Japan. And I only bring that up because they've been under nationalized health care reform since 1962. In Japan, 1 in 4 households have Aflac, and 92% of the businesses on the Tokyo Stock Exchange offer Aflac to their employees. So we really do want to thank Kumon and the HR department for making these types of coverages available to you, because now we know that all the times of changing and landscape changing with health insurance, it's very important, but we know it doesn't cover everything. And we want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves and our family because you work so hard to do what you do and to provide for yourself and your family. So that's really what Aflac was designed to do, was really provide a financial safety net. And know that everything we're going to talk about today, it's really some nice pivotal points that you want to be aware of is because Kumon is offering these benefits to you through payroll deductions, you're receiving these benefits at about a 50% discount than if you were to try and flag them down, a local rep on your local streets across the country. So know that you're getting a great discount through that payroll deduction. I know none of you are going anywhere, right? You're going to stay at Kumon until you retire, but know that if you do decide to leave the organization, these policies are yours. You own them. You can take them with you, so you will have that guaranteed, renewable, fixed, discounted rate to go with you for life. So it is your policy that you can keep forever. And know that, again, we're in the business of paying claims, and we pay claims as quickly as one day. I'm sure you've seen some of those commercials recently. So it is something that we're paying directly to our policyholders. We're not paying the doctors. We're not paying the hospitals. We're paying you. And there's no coordination of benefits. So what that means is if I'm getting, using vacation time or my sick time, or if I receive a state mandate of disability or workers' compensation, that doesn't matter. Aflac will pay claims regardless of whatever might also be what other insurances you might have. Okay, so let's dive into the first plan. And if I'm moving too quickly, I apologize. I am a New Yorker. I try and speak quickly, but I will try and answer any questions if we have some time at the end. And then, as we mentioned, we'll have some one-on-one time with the benefits counselors that you can sign up for. The first plan we want to discuss is the short-term disability policy. And really what that's designed to do is protect your paycheck, right? So it is something that is simple as I wake up and come and do what I do for Kumon. Should I be hurt? Should I be sick and unable to work? How do I provide for myself and my family? So the benefit is really something that, again, there's no coordination with a workers' compensation or your state disability. And we know, unfortunately, there are only 4 states in the country that actually offer a state mandate of disability. So this is above and beyond it because we know it's just not enough for people to survive without a paycheck. So how the short-term disability works is it's a benefit of anywhere from $500 to $6,000 that'll be paid out monthly, tax-free, to the policyholder. Now, you're going to see a lot through this presentation, and why also we encourage you to talk one-on-one with the counselors is because there are no rates listed here. Because everyone's situation is so different, you can really build your disability policy and any of the other coverages we're going to discuss today to be the right fit for you. Because not everyone has the same lifestyle of living or maybe earns the same amount in their paycheck. So we really want to make sure that you custom fit these types of coverages to suit your needs. And so it is something that you can build up a benefit that could be a $2,000 a month benefit, $3,000, all the way up to a $6,000 a month benefit. The beauty of this plan is it can kick in immediately, day one of an injury, after 7 days of being out sick. But if you have some sick time or you have some savings or whatever the case might be for you, it is something that you can build some elimination periods in there, a 2-week wait, a 30-day wait. It really depends on you and how you want to structure the plan. It's a plan that's a guaranteed issue, and what that means is that we don't have to ask health questions up to a certain level. So no matter what your health status might be, everyone is eligible for the plan up to a $3,000 benefit amount. And it is something that is fantastic when it comes to maternity. So if you're thinking of building a family or adding to your family, please definitely speak to a benefits counselor because it has a fantastic maternity benefit associated with the disability. So really simplistically, it's a benefit, again, that's meant to protect you, protect your paycheck. It's the only one that's an individual plan we're going to discuss today. Everything else we're going to discuss is actually something that can be built for family as well. So again, the disability is something that can really be $4 a week, it could be $40. It's really going to depend on you and how you want to build it. So that's the short-term disability. Moving on, another option we have for you is life insurance. Life insurance is something that we all know that we need. So if you have some now, fantastic. If you want to continue to add on to your life insurance, this is a great option for you. If you don't have any at all, I would absolutely counsel to speak to someone regarding our options. We have whole life, we have term life, and we also have some juvenile options as well. Depending on the state in which you reside, there might be a little nuance in the maximum. So in New York, for instance, our max is $250,000. Around most of the U.S., our states, we're looking at about a $500,000 benefit amount for the life insurance. So again, definitely reach out to us, and we'll make sure that we make you aware of what your limits are. And it's really something that you can build to, again, suit your needs. When I started in the business 7 years ago, and I was actually in the field and working, doing education with policyholders, I remember a 36-year-old woman came to me one day when I was out in her organization, and she was asking me about life insurance. And so we started going through the underwriting. So that's also the beauty of our plan. We don't do any physicals, no blood work. We just ask a few simple questions. And told me that she had been diagnosed with Hodgkin's the week before. And it broke my heart because she didn't have any life insurance, and now she wasn't going to get any. So again, not to be the doom and gloom girl, happy Monday, but I just want us to always start thinking about these types of things, whether it's life or any of the other plans we're going to discuss. We always want to do these types of things now while we're healthy, and while, as we're younger, typically it's less expensive as well, but just food for thought when it comes to some of these types of plans. Okay, I'm going to take a break for a minute from what the traditional is, and I want to kind of set the stage for the next slew of plans we're going to discuss. We all understand protecting our paycheck, and we understand, life insurance. But the next set of plans we're going to talk about are really what becomes counterintuitive when it comes to thinking about insurances, and especially how it relates to medical insurance, right? So we have medical insurance, and it's designed to pay the doctors, the hospitals, which is so crucial, and we need that. But we know, unfortunately, that us as Americans, we're built to live paycheck to paycheck for the most part, or at least 85% of us really do in America. We make a certain amount, and we spend to that amount, and we make more, and we tend to spend more. And when we become hurt or sick, there's a disparity there because our incomes typically take a hit, and our expenses go up. And we know that Americans are just financially, unfortunately, unprepared, right? We don't typically have the monies in our savings. And if we do, I really wouldn't want to use the monies that I worked so hard for to in this situation, but we know that unfortunately the statistics are what they are. Looking at a study that Harvard did a few years ago at all the foreclosures and bankruptcies that happened in our country, 60% of them were directly related to medical bills affecting a family, and 3/4 of those families had health insurance. That's staggering. Now, again, I know that we need health insurance, and that health insurance is being provided to you some options through Kumon that they're the best possible through the organization. But we know that there's still a financial exposure that's there, regardless of what our health insurance is. So we have the out-of-pocket copays, deductibles, prescription drugs, right? That's always going to take into effect no matter what treatments we're going to seek. So that's always going to be there. The days, unfortunately, are gone where we pay nothing for treatments, unless it's a well visit nowadays, unfortunately. But really what it is I'm hurt or I'm sick and I'm out of work. I have a loss of income. But now my spouse is taking time out of work to be with me. So you potentially have a loss of dual income in a household. And FMLA is a fantastic thing, but it doesn't pay for my husband to be out of work taking care of me. We don't realize, and this is where, again, we're not built to have these types of, sick or hurt funds, but when you become hurt or sick, there are new expenses that arise that really can become very costly to a family. So let's say I'm not working and my spouse is taking time out to be with me in a hospital. Who's caring for my children, right? So I need now additional child care help, and maybe now additional transportation and lodging, gas, tolls, parking at Columbia or Sloan Kettering is not inexpensive, unfortunately, nowadays. It's $50 a day. So all of these new expenses do arrive when we become hurt or sick and seeking treatment. And on top of that, we have our normal bills, right? I love my mailman, but every single day and every single week, they're still going to stuff, my box with bills, even if Jackie's laid up with a broken leg. So I have my everyday, financial responsibilities that I need to pay for. So that's where really I want to make sure that we're aware of why Aflac was started, why Aflac is being offered to all of you, because we never want to see anyone go through a situation and have the financial ramifications of it. We want people to focus on getting better. So the first plan I'm going to dive into is our cancer and our critical illness coverage. Unfortunately, we know that cancer devastates 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women nowadays in our country. The good news about cancers is if caught early are actually curable. We have a 90% cure rate when caught early. The bad news is it becomes very, very expensive to go through. And the last thing we ever want anyone to worry about is how am I going to pay the bills. So what this plan is designed to do, and again, want nobody to ever have to use this plan, but the beauty of it is every year I go for my routine well visit, right, because early detection is so crucial in fighting these diseases. What you're going to see in Aflac is there's a lot of wellness built into each and every one of our policies because we want to reward people for taking care of themselves because it's so important. So on this plan, there's a benefit of anywhere from $75 to $100 just for going for my OBGYN visit or for my mammography, for the fellas when they do a chest x-ray or their PSA exam, a colonoscopy, things of that nature. We know that we don't pay anything for them, but we're still going to get money back from Aflac. So again, that's where the counterintuitiveness comes into play, and I just want to make sure you're aware of how we structure our plan. We pay you just to go and seek these treatments because we know that that'll help alleviate potential need to use these plans in the future and other reasons for a diagnosis. Now, God forbid there is a diagnosis. How this plan is designed to work is to pay upfront thousands of dollars upon a diagnosis. For every day I'm in a hospital, for a chemo, a radiation, experimental treatment, lodging benefits, anything that it is that I go through, there are set cash reimbursements that come back to the insured. Why? Because we know that when we're fighting some of these diseases, it financially can be very devastating, and we want people to focus on the most important, and that's getting better. My girlfriend in high school, actually, her mother was diagnosed with one of the rarest forms of breast cancer, and they lived here in Manhattan, and they, with some of the best oncologists are here. Unfortunately, they couldn't figure it out. So, they ended up taking her to Dallas for some experimental treatment. And from Dallas, they went to Germany. Major medical was for what they needed. It helped out to some extent, but planes, trains, and automobiles, major medical doesn't pay for the experimental treatment and all of the time out of work. So it was really something that became very, very difficult for the family. So again, it's something that I've seen pay tens of thousands of dollars if, God forbid, we need to use it. And it's a plan that starts at approximately $7 a week. So it's not meant to be expensive. It's meant to be something that's there to provide a safety net in the event that you need to use it. When I mentioned critical illness, you can build the plan however you see fit. So it can be just the cancer care by itself, or you could add on what we call the critical illness piece, which is the heart attack, the stroke, the kidney failure, the cardiac arrest. I know, again, lovely things to think about. But I saw this firsthand with my father when he had a stroke. And he had fantastic insurance. He actually worked for a union, but he was out of work for 6 months. So we know that the loss of income and then all of his everyday bills and the additional bills really devastated the family. So it's something that we really want to make sure that you're aware of how these plans work. So you can really build it to make sure that it's right for you. These plans, this one specifically, know that children are covered till the age of 26 for free. So it is something that we want to ensure that we can protect our entire family, because I know, unfortunately, cancer sees no age, sex, race nowadays, right? It just is. So children are covered till 26 for free, and everyone on the plan would have that wellness benefit. So receive that every year should they be seeking their treatment or their well checks. So it is something that becomes a great benefit there as well. Okay. Moving on from the heavy. Sorry, and I just want to make sure I get all of this in the time frame. The next one is our accident policy. I think it's the one that most people identify with from the commercials. Typically see the guy with the cast on his leg and the duck with the money in its beak. So it is something that is a very useful, everyday type of coverage. I find it to be something that, especially for families, becomes a very everyday type of plan. So I'm going to describe how this plan would work. Let's say I was running to catch a train and my heel got caught in a grate and I went flying down a flight of stairs, knocked out. And an ambulance came for me, took me to the emergency room. Maybe they hospitalized me one night. They MRI my hip, and they discharged me with crutches and physical therapy. So again, we know we're going to have our responsibilities for our out-of-pocket medical piece, whether it's the emergency room, the copays, the deductibles. But Aflac is going to pay me based on every single one of those pieces of treatment, just like we described in the cancer plan. So I get $120 for the first initial treatment. So that's any doctor you walk in to see, emergency room, urgent care, whatever the case might be. $1,000 for being hospitalized. $250 for that ambulance coming to get me, $200 for potentially the MRI, physical therapy, crutches, all of that. I would receive these set cash benefits. And in your state, those numbers might vary a little bit, but all the plans are very consistent across state to state in terms of the comprehensiveness that is the plan. So it's designed really to pay me these, again, hundreds to thousands to tens of thousands of dollars as I'm going through, my injury. And the reason, I saw it firsthand was when I had crutches because I had a stress fracture in my hip and I had to be non-weight bearing for 6 weeks. Living on a fourth floor walk-up, that is Manhattan, I definitely missed time out of work. And then when I was going to work, I wasn't using mass transit, right? I was taking taxis all over the place. My mom was taking time out of work to ensure that she was there to help support me and to make sure that she could, have food for me and all of that. So it became a little bit of a burden. So again, it's a very simple plan. It could be something that hopefully you're not using it for that car accident or something very serious. But, little Johnny falls off a swing, you run them to urgent care. It's going to be something that, I hate to say it, but you use it once, it basically pays for itself. So anything as small as, I cut myself, I roll an ankle, I, burn myself in the kitchen, to God forbid something very serious. And if you're athletic, I definitely think it's a great plan to have. Same thing with family. Children, there's a little bit of an additional fee. It bumps up a bit, but the plan starts at about $5 to $6 a week. Family coverage tends to be around $12 to $13 or so a week. So it is something that you can cover the entire family for, and children would be covered till the age of 26 as well. On this plan too, just so that you're aware, besides all the benefits that I discussed in regards to the treatments, know that there's a wellness benefit built into it as well. So for that OBGYN visit or that doctor visit or my dental cleaning, after the first year, I'm going to receive a $60 wellness benefit just for going and getting, any check that I might need to get. And then also, too, there's a piece of life insurance, accidental death life insurance built into this plan as well. Okay, moving on, hospitalization. We have a hospital plan, and this one really was built based on what has changed and how the healthcare industry has changed over the last few years. So what it was really designed to do was help reinsure your financial risk in the event of being hospitalized, because we know being hospitalized can be very, very expensive, and then we're typically not working, right, when we're in the hospital. So what this plan is designed to do is, again, pay very large lump sums to us for being admitted to the hospital, for every day we're in the hospital, for any surgeries, ICU, confinement, things of that nature. There are a lot of tiers to this plan, so based on the state in which you reside, I absolutely recommend you talk to the specific counselor regarding what's right for you, and then also how the plan works in your state, because there are some really fantastic guarantee issue options. So the same, like we talked about with the disability, we no matter what your health status might be, there are some options still that would make you eligible for the plan as well. There's some fantastic wellness benefits built into the plan as well. So receiving, again, for that doctor visit, an eye exam, a dental cleaning, maybe that same mammography, you're going to receive wellness benefits on this plan for individual or also for family. And really some great options in how you just want to build it based on, what's right for your lifestyle. Maternity being one of the options too. So if mommyhood is in your world, definitely let the benefits counselor know, because this plus the disability could be what we call the mommy package. This plan is going to start at about $5 or so a week, but it can really tier up depending on how you want to build it. So as I mentioned earlier, really there is no one size fits all. You can supersize, let's say, your plans and add on, based on how it is you want to build your plan. But it is something that we want to just make sure that everyone has, again, these options available to them, because no one should not be able to afford financial peace of mind. So we want to make sure that we give you a wide variety of options. So that's the hospitalization piece. And last, coming to the last plan offering, again, we do have a lot of offerings for you all this year, is the dental insurance. Everyone's favorite, right? Going to the dentist. So what we offer is a couple different options, but really if you have the dental associated with your organization now or any sort of baseline dental, and if you're using it and you're not spending money out of pocket, then I wouldn't recommend you needing more dental, of course. But if you find that maybe the coverage of dental that you have, just because some of us are more prone to dental work than others, if you're spending a lot out of pocket year in, year out, then maybe our supplemental dental option could be a nice option for you. So what it's designed to do is give us these cash reimbursements, and it can be paid directly to the dental provider, but you could typically just have them, again, paid directly to you based on the treatments we go through. So let's say I have Delta Dental and I have $1,000 as my max coverage. What this policy will do is give me an additional $1,200 a year for, again, treatments to my dental with no networks. So I can go to whomever I'm going to within my network of Delta, let's just say, and I would still receive these benefits on top of it. So how it works is I'm going to go in for my cleaning and my x-ray. I'm obviously covered in network, so I don't pay anything. Aflac will still pay me $25 per cleaning twice a year and $15 for an x-ray. So every year you have a wellness built into it of $60 that comes back to $65 that comes back to the insured. And then as I'm going through my treatments, the root canals or the crowns or the extractions, whatever it might be, I get a receipt with the ADA codes, which is standard, American Dental Association. All dentists use them. And I submit that to Aflac, and then Aflac will cut me a check based on the treatments I've gone through. So there are some waiting periods associated with it because the price point of the additional dental option is actually pretty low. It starts at about $5 a week, and we know that dental insurance tends to be very expensive. So it becomes a really nice buffer for us that are using or spending a lot of money out of pocket. So this would begin, and day one, you're eligible for the cleanings and the x-rays. It's a 3-month wait for things like fillings, 6 months for extractions, the oral surgery, a year for the big stuff, the root canal, the crowns. But once you satisfy that wait, you'll never have to wait again. If for whatever reason you don't have any dental coverage at all, we do have a full, like a dental policy. This the tier that I just described is a supplement, but we also do have loftier versions of our dental that becomes more of a full-scale dental coverage. And then, as I mentioned, and I probably didn't say this earlier, I'm sorry, but 18 to 70 is our age range, so to enroll within that, but know that our plans are lifetime. So let's say I'm retired now and I want to continue with my cancer and my critical illness coverage. I can have that plan in all of our plans for life. The only one that kind of goes away is our disability when we're not working anymore because there's no more paycheck to protect. So just be aware of that. But again, through just like the rest of our plans with the dental, there's no coordination of benefits whatsoever, and you're going to have all of these benefits that kind of come back to us based on the treatments we go through. Okay, that was a lot of information, and I'm glad that I have 3 minutes left. I want to see if I can open it up to questions. Maybe what I'll do is we can also open up the chat line as well. Stop sharing here. But in closing, I wanted to thank you all for taking the time to educate yourself, because that's really where the strength in these in benefits becomes, is when you're taking the time to understand what your options are. And then to figure out what's right to protect yourself and your family. And so I really do thank you, because unfortunately we don't know what tomorrow will bring in our health status. And when we think about how much we work in the course of a week, in the course of our lifetimes, and how much sometimes we spend on things that are not necessarily priority, right? We have car insurance because we have to by law, so we need that. It is a priority, but we forget the biggest priority, and that's ourselves, right? So you and your ability to wake up every day and provide for yourself and your family is something that is, to me, the most valuable thing that we have. So we just want to make sure we're providing you with additional options to help you protect yourself and protect your family, so that we can focus on what life is. It's amazing, and not have to worry about the financial ramifications. So that is Aflac in 28 minutes. If anyone has any questions, I would be happy to take them now. If you want to either chat on your chat link, or if you want to turn on your audio and let me know, I'm going to make myself available for the last few minutes. Okay, not seeing any questions. Well, I know you can filter questions straight through Abigail. You could also, again, enroll to speak with a benefits counselor in that link that was sent out. But I guess what I'll do is give you 2 minutes back of your time. Thank you again so much, and I look forward to working with you guys, and we appreciate the partnership, and whatever we can do to help assist you, we're here for you. So thank you all so very much. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.